To set up your taxes, just click on the Administration tab. Here's where your sales taxes are located. You'll want to work from left to right, so set up your tax authorities first, then your tax details, and then your tax type. Let's click on tax authorities first. It is best to rename and utilize the existing taxes that already exist in the system. One good reason for that is that once a tax is created, you typically cannot delete it, nor would you want to. Also, keep in mind that when it comes time for a tax rate change in the future, you'll keep all your current taxes that you have set up so that you have a tax history, and then you'll add an additional tax detail, and then an additional tax type, and you'll just basically make the new tax type the new default. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one here and change the taxing authority to Colorado. This whole list is maintainable by you, and some examples that you may want to change them to are stuff like State of Colorado, City of Denver, RTD, Stadium District, whatever taxing authorities apply to you in your state. Next step is to click on the tax details. Here's where you'll create a list of your tax details. Let me double click on state sales tax. Each detail will point to one authority that you did in step 1. It also contains a name for display purposes. So you might call this state sales tax or New Mexico sales tax. It also contains one rate or a list of rates by price. So if you have a item that a different tax rate applies for items over $5,000, then Masterpiece handles that. You can also set it up two different ways. You could put in your whole tax percentage, maybe your tax rate is 8.75%. Or you can split it up into tax details. So let's say that my state tax is 3%, and then my local tax is 0.5%, and then my city tax could be another 2%, and it all adds up to a certain percentage. So you can keep track of all your tax rates, all your tax details separately. Masterpiece can also handle VAT, or value added tax. Last step is to click on tax types. Here's where you'll go ahead and enter all your tax types. I'm going to click on local. You'll go ahead and just type in the name of the tax rate, for example, local tax, or out of state, or no tax. And each tax type will contain a list of all the tax details which apply. For example, this one as the state sales tax, local, city, and county, which all add up to a tax rate of 7.2%. If you did the other method, where you just applied your old tax rate to the state sales tax, then you'll just have that one checked. And another reminder that once you create a tax, you should never delete or change a tax, because it will basically change the tax of all your past transactions. So if you have a new tax rate, you'll create a new tax type and a new tax detail and associate them and use the tax type as the new default going forward. You'll want to make sure that the default box is checked accordingly. And you can also go to Administration and click on Staff Management and assign a tax type default to a particular staff member. This is especially useful if you have different locations and you may want a tax type for that location set by default. And that's it for the gist of setting up taxes.